Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Dan and Kev's Wrestling Talk Show. Today we are going to be reviewing NXT and SmackDown. And just before we start, I just want to mention something about AEW. We might do a proper review of AEW Road Rager in a couple of days. But Kev, you made the great point a couple of weeks ago that it's the cool thing now to shit on WWE, and AEW is the best, right?
Yeah.
I think that was a great point. Now, you've obviously still been watching AEW. Friday's episode of AEW, you messaged me and said, have you seen AEW? And I've been like, no. And you said, you've got to watch it. So, right, okay. Obviously, I'm assuming by now you all know that, of course, Aleister Black turns up and is now on AEW. It was obviously a big shock because everyone thought that it'd be 90 days non-compete like it usually is, but then it comes out WWE had forgot to update his contract, which is just like, what are you doing? It's embarrassment. But you made the point that it's now cool to say WWE shit, AEW is amazing. Now, I watched AEW Road Rager. I watched the whole show for the first time in probably 12 months. And in my opinion, everyone has an opinion on football and wrestling. Everyone has their own opinion. In my opinion, AEW is just as shit as WWE. Because I'm sorry, everyone that's an AEW bloody keyboard warrior that's just AEW is better, AEW is the best, WWE is shit. I won't have anything bad said about AEW. That was a fucking pay-per-view. That was the first show that they had done in front of a live crowd in over a year. Kevin, in your opinion, did that feel like not just a pay-per-view, but the pay-per-view, the first one in a live crowd in over a year? Did that show as a whole, forget Aleister Black turning up, did that show as a whole to you feel like a pay-per-view?
No. It just felt like a normal Dynamite. I don't know. It just felt like a normal Dynamite. I mean, I've been watching AEW for a while, and nothing really changes. It's the same stuff in our week. Like you said, just like with WWE, there are some good bits, but there's some crap bits as well, and you get that with both shows. But yeah.
There's a couple of quick questions I want to ask you. I'm not going to go through the actual matches because we'll save that for another video. Andrade, that was his first match on AEW, yeah?
Yeah.
In your opinion, did he look as good in that match as what he looked on WWE?
No.
He looked slow. He looked like he didn't know. He's like he was struggling to find his spots. You could see him literally thinking and right, okay. I love Andrade. I'm not here saying Andrade isn't a good wrestler. He was one of my favorites. Me and you, only I think it was on last week's show, we said sometimes when it's Lashley and McIntyre again and again, you go, oh my God, I'm bored. Sometimes when it's Andrade and Rey Mysterio every week, you're like, and again, come on, and again next week. Because it was that good. Andrade is amazing. In that match, he didn't look special. He didn't look different. He looked, that's the worst wrestling match I've seen Andrade put on, and I've seen his entire NXT career, and I've seen his entire Raw career. So for everyone, and that's the first time I've watched AEW, and I thought, you messaged me saying you need to watch it, and obviously I know why now, but for you to message me and say, right, you need to watch it, and then I go, oh shit, it's a pay-per-view, and then JR says at the beginning, this is the first show that we've done in a live crowd, welcome back, and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. That was bang average.
Yeah.
That was a bang average shot. For the first, I'm not being funny, Money in the Bank, I think, will be better than Road Rager, but they're saving everything for SummerSlam. SummerSlam, compared to Road Rager, like, you can't just say, because it's your new favourite toy, AEW is miles better than WWE, because I've seen absolutely jack shit in Road Rage is to tell me that AEW is better than WWE. I think AEW are good at some things, are better than WWE, and I think WWE are better than AEW on some things. And my last point, okay, because I know you want to move on.
Yeah.
I feel like AEW are better than WWE at what WWE are shit at, and what WWE are good at, AEW are shit at.
Yeah.
So the actual wrestling in the ring, the promos, the creativity, Cody Rhodes and Tony Khan and Arn Anderson turning around to the superstars and going, let's go out and have fucking fun. Let's go out and have fun. Go out and have a promo. And if something comes into it, just say it. Just improvise. If you have a wild moment in the match, and you think, do you know what? I'm going to jump off this turnbuckle backwards, and I'm going to. I've not done this move in years. I'm going to try this. They've got freedom to be expressive. WWE are suffocated. That's where AEW is miles better, right? Miles better. But in terms of the actual production of the show, in terms of the actual layout of the product, in terms of the way that the show is mapped out, WWE are miles and leagues ahead of AEW. I'm not being funny. I don't even know if I told you this. Have I told you why me and Nas stopped watching AEW?
No.
We couldn't be asked for the fucking tag teams. It's just tag team after 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 fucking tag team. There might be one women's single match that lasts 3 minutes, and in my opinion, the only really good match on that show, the only really good match was Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall right at the beginning. That was the only good match. The rest of it, I love Young Bucks. I don't know what they've done to the characters over the last 12 months. They've changed characters. I don't like the new characters. Personal preference. They're amazing in the ring. What was going on in that last match, mate? What the fuck was that cameraman pissed? Did he get a bit giddy because the fans were back? Away! I'm down in some beer. What was he doing? The camera was on the action just as they're about to do a move in the ring. It had cut to something outside of the ring. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows would be about to do a move on the outside. Just as they're about to hit it, they'd flip back into the ring. Now the move that they were going to do in the ring's already happened and it's just men on the floor. Then they cut back out the ring and they've missed that now. And what are you doing? I'm sorry. AEW is not better than WWE. It is better in a specific area that me and you would like WWE to give their talent more creative control and ability to express themselves and be creative. But AEW is still the same. It's just tag team after tag team after tag team match. And it's boring.
Yeah.
It's boring. Anyway, NXT.
Yeah.
I just thought, Kev, let's start this show with a point where you went off topic a couple of weeks ago, and I love that because it was in your head and it was winding you up. The amount of people that are messaging you going, AW this, AW that. Well, I'm sorry, I've been watching wrestling for 25 years and I see nothing in that AW shit. There's nothing in that made me go, I'm going to start watching this again every week. That was amazing. The only reason why I'm going to watch it again every week is because I'm a massive Aleister Black fan. That's the only reason.
That's why the viewership hasn't really changed. You know, it's not changed drastically from them being on a Wednesday night. Because I don't think they offer anything. They don't offer an alternative from WWE. There's nothing there, if you know what I mean. It's just another wrestling show.
If I didn't absolutely love Tom Budgen, who's obviously the real guy, I love his mind. I think he's a creative genius. I think WWE have got one of the best minds that they had, to be honest. Malachi Black is the reason why I probably will give AEW a chance. But nothing's changed. I stopped watching it 12 months ago because I couldn't be bothered. Mate, the last show we watched, there was 5 matches on it. They were all fucking tag team matches. I don't want to see that. Yeah. I don't want to see a show of 5 matches and 5 tag team matches. I'm sorry, I just don't. WWE do it right. The actual layout of the show, there's a couple of tag team matches, a couple of women's matches, there's an intercontinental, maybe not a title match, but within that realm, within that division, you know, to just, you know, who's going to be the next contender for the Intercontinental or the United States title. Then there's obviously a match between the big boys.
Yeah.
The actual layout of the product and the way that they construct the show is a fucking league above AEW. You can't even compare them.
Yeah.
AEW just has the one thing that WWE is missing, and that is they don't overly script everything. That's it. That's it. And they have some fantastic wrestlers. Andrade is amazing. He didn't look good to me at all in his match. Young Bucks, great in the ring. I didn't really get a chance to see much of their action because the cameraman was fucking 9 cans deep. Anyway, mate, let's move on. But I just thought after the point you made a couple of weeks ago about it becoming cool, I thought I need to say something because it just drums home to me how right you were with that point. That because AEW is new, I'm Team AEW.
Yeah. It's the new toy. Like I said, give it 5 years, and we'll see where we are then.
Absolutely.
Because I guarantee you, and I've said this to someone else as well, a friend of mine. I guarantee you, in 5 years, we'll have superstars that were released by AEW with the horror stories. Now we get that with WWE. We get, we've been released. Oh, you don't know what shit's going on backstage, and creative ain't got a clue. I guarantee you, in 5 years' time, we'll have the same thing from AEW.
One more point. Britt Baker. This is what I mean by this. I know that they're giving him more now, right? But I've still been keeping up. I've been talking to you. I've been keeping up, you know, on Twitter and YouTube and stuff. I've still been keeping up. I know what's been going on in AEW. I've just not been watching the show every week. Britt Baker, for the first 18 months of AEW was barely used, right? And I know she's had injuries, but even when she was fit, she was barely used, right? Britt Baker was the first woman that AEW signed because she was the best free agent available. She has trained for the last 5 years with Adam Cole. It's not possible for her to be shit. Her fiance is Adam Cole. She trains with him whenever they're together. She is, and I've seen her have I've seen her 3 or 4 indie matches on Twitter before AEW was even a thing. That girl can wrestle. That girl can wrestle. She has got mic skills.
Yeah.
She's not been allowed to show her talent on AEW.
No.
So it's not just WWE that are underusing talent. If you're a woman on AEW, it's like being back in WWE in the 90s. If you're a woman on AEW, you're an afterthought.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. Here's my last point. Do you like? Because me and you said, I don't even know. I think we were on air, but me and you were talking, and we were saying, isn't it cool that someone like a Kenny Omega can be AEW heavyweight champion, can be Impact champion, and is a champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Obviously, Mox is defending the IWGP title against Carl Anderson on Fyter Fest Night 1 next Friday, right? So they're defending a New Japan Pro Wrestling belt on AEW. Half of me really likes that. I think it's really cool. Again, it shows AEW's openness to work with other wrestling promotions. I think that is so refreshing, especially in the way WWE is so strict. But at the same time, mate, in your opinion, would DX or The Undertaker have been a special if they were popping up here, there, and everywhere?
No.
They were exclusive to WWE. If you wanted to see The Undertaker or Kane or Stone Cold or The Rock or Chris Jericho back in the day or The Big Show or whoever your favourite was, Edge, the Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys, if you wanted to tune in to see them, you had to tune into WWE. That was the only place that you seen them.
Yeah.
That for me is what makes a come. If you look at me, I'm now watching AEW because I love Malachi Black.
Yeah.
I love him, so I want to watch him. You know, I'm as cool as it is, and as nice as it is. I don't necessarily know how good that is for AEW moving forward, because you want John Moxley and Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, they're your fucking main attraction.
Yeah.
And fans that aren't up AEW's Ricker aren't necessarily just a casual wrestling fan who watches all wrestling like me and you.
Yeah.
Are you going to go, I've got to tune into AEW this week to watch Kenny Omega, or are you going to go, well, to be fair, I've just watched Kenny Omega wrestle on Impact, so...
Yeah. It's like I said, I think it's benefiting the other companies because they're getting a little bit more exposure TV-wise, which is good. Because if you don't watch Impact on New Japan Wrestling and you watch AEW and you see it, you're going to go, oh, I'm going to watch Impact now. Oh, I'm going to watch New Japan Wrestling. So it's helping their shows. But yeah, I don't think like with Kenny Omega and, you know, Hangman Page and all those sort of things, that's what originally the company wanted to do. They wanted to build it around there. But most people want to see Chris Jericho, John Moxley. You know what I mean? Ex-WWE people. You know what I mean? And they haven't really pushed their own stars big enough. You know?
Yeah.
You got to think, right, if they had Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, a quality good match there, but no one's interested. Now, if you put, say, Chris Jericho in there, all of a sudden, everyone's interested because everyone knows Chris Jericho. And that's their problem. That is their problem at the moment, is they've got stars, but they're not stars, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
They're not pullers. You're not, you know, if you saw WWE and they've got John Cena versus Roman Reigns, and on the other side you've got Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega, and you've got the 2 tickets, which one are you going to go to? You're going to go to John Cena versus Roman Reigns. Whether you like WWE or not, you're still going to go to that match because of the star power that's got.
Yeah, absolutely. They have not used the WWE talent the way that they should have done, and I don't really understand why. They haven't gathered these, you know, all these WWE talents and made them the stars of the show like they should have done, because more and more fans are going to tune in if you go, I loved Rusev. Look, he's on every show. He's getting a proper push. I'm going to watch Rusev. I'm going to watch Andrade. I'm going to watch Malachi Black. I'm going to watch, you know, the Revival. The Matt Hardy. These guys have not been pushed the way that you would do. Yeah. I
mean, there's a perfect example. They brought in sort of Big Show and Mark Henry, and they're big names. And they brought in Christian, and there was no big fanfare. And Christian is now in sort of a middle card spot, and I don't get it. I'm like, oh, there was this big thing for Christian to come. They did a big reveal for him. He showed up on AEW, but it was all sort of like flat. It just didn't do anything for anyone. Absolutely. And I'm really surprised by that. But maybe it's the way that they're booking them or something. So I don't know. But like I said, give it 5 years. We'll see how it is in 5 years' time, and we'll go from there, because I see a lot of WCW and Impact in there. Both shows were very small, and then the problem is with AEW is that they've come in big. They haven't started off small. They've come in really big, heavy hitting. Whereas WCW and Impact started off very small. Then they had the investment of sort of Eric Bischoff and Ted Turner when WCW was about, and obviously Dixie Carter when Impact was about, and they had the money. And obviously both of those shows died, not because they were crap, but because they ran out of money, because they were hemorrhaging money. And I can see this happening with AEW. I can see it hemorrhaging money, because they've look, let's put it, you know, they've spent a lot of money on Big Show, a lot of money on Mark Henry, a lot of money on Christian. Yeah, they haven't gone there because they've gone, oh, it's AEW. They've gone there because it's more money.
Of course it is, absolutely. Yeah.
And they're not really doing anything. And WWE cut them for a reason, because they're not making any money. So it's good because, like I said, Impact splashed the cash there. You know, they had Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan, Kurt Angle, and they paid a lot of money for that. And Dixie Carter paid a lot of money, but then she ran out of money, and then had to sell it. And then it's the same thing with WCW. Ted Turner obviously bought it. He just gave her basically an open check and then said, "Do what you want." And they done what they want. Then Ted Turner was taken off the board of directors at Time Warner, and then when the new guy took over, he looked and he went, "Jesus, we're in the red on WCW. What is this?" And they went, "Oh, it's WCW." He goes, and that's when they cut everything. That's when everyone jumped to WWE. That's when the ratings went down. That's when Vince Rossio come over and all the crappy storylines came out, like really crappy ones. And they let loads of people go. It's all down to money. It's fair enough they've got money, AEW. But like I said, let's see it in 5 years' time and see where it is, because I think they're hemorrhaging money, personally. I think they're spending too much, but they're not getting any return.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. It just seems like they're spending, but not sort of
Not bringing
getting
in.
anything in return.
Yeah.
And, you know, ECW was another one. You know, that was an indie show that got really big, but was effectively killed because they lost a TV deal. So if they didn't lose a TV deal, ECW, I should say, would still be about. But yeah, let's see what happens. But like I said, it feels like they're spending a lot of money at the moment, and they're not getting anything back.
It's not a good way to run a business, is it?
Well, no, because fair enough, he's got a lot of money, but I guarantee there's going to be a time when that money's not going to be there. You know, it wasn't for Dixie Carter. She didn't run out of money. She sort of did. I mean, she still lives the high life sort of thing, but she got a lot of money from her dad, which ended up buying Impact or TNA. And it's the same thing here. Tony Khan, he got money from his dad. He set it all up. Let's see what. Like I said, we'll leave it at that. Like, give it 5 years, and we'll see where we are in 5 years with him.
So did Tony Khan. He got all his money from his dad. So you know.
Similarities, because when Dixie Carter comes to TNA, that's when they bought Hulk Hogan. That's when they brought people like Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Kurt Angle, all those people in. You know, the Dudley Boys. It boosted their ratings, and they done fairly well out of it. But it didn't really register.
Yeah.
AEW have been like this big fanfare, but it needs something else. But like I said, it's money, and WWE are the big players in that. So
yeah, absolutely,
we'll see what happens in 5 years. Like I said, we'll leave it 5 years. Come back to me in 5 years and say if AEW is good, or you know, if it's on par. It's weird because, you know, 10 years ago we had these exact same conversations with people when TNA was on. So when Hulk Hogan turned up and you had people like Hulk Hogan, Sting, you know, Kurt Angle, all that sort of stuff, everyone was like, "Oh, is WWE worried? Oh, WWE's crap. TNA is so much better." We had all these conversations before.
Right.
This is why it doesn't bother me, and this is why I'm like, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, because all these conversations we've had before when TNA was big.
Agreed.
And look what happened there. So, Daisy, someone's walking by, I think.
Go on, you get him. Go and get him.
No, Daisy, come here. She like them.
It's an Italian walking past. She's just saying it's coming home. You're getting beat tonight.
Yeah. Right. Shall we get on to NXT?
Yeah. Do you know who Dixie Carter's cousin is?
It's Ant and Deck, isn't it? I think it's one of them two.
Deck.
Yeah. The genius thing, but
yeah.
But yeah, like I said, give it 5 years.
Yeah, we'll see
where it all is, because we've been here before, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. You know, it's cool because it's new.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even been around 2 years yet, so you know what I mean.
I agree, mate. I agree completely. Right, NXT, Great American Bash.
Right, go on, then you go on. First match.
With MSK versus Ciampa and Thatcher.
Yeah, good match. They put on a really good match. I was surprised with the win, a roll up.
Yeah.
But yeah, good match. Those four in the ring there. You know what could go wrong? That's what you want to think of that. And there's nothing to go wrong with that.
I'm not a Thatcher fan.
Right.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
I just don't like him.
I know we don't want to say it, but I think he reminds me a lot of Chris Benoit.
You know, I know he's in there with an MSK who are like two little fleas and jumping around everywhere. Tommaso Ciampa's older than Thatcher.
Oh, yeah.
And if Ciampa can keep up with MSK and make everything look good, why can't Thatcher? And look, maybe I'm being harsh, but I thought it was a great match until Thatcher got involved. And it's like everything slowed down, everything looks awkward, everything looks clumsy. He's trying to get someone in a wrist lock and he's having to grab 3 times because he's just missing it. Like, I'm going to get so much shit for this. I don't care.
Right.
I don't think he's a good wrestler.
That's where I'll probably disagree on that because I think he's actually a really good he's a technical wrestler, and he knows what he's doing. But I think the character they've got him playing at the moment, which is like this uncontrollable sort of wild person, is a bit. I think they should go back to what he had before, which was like the technical specialist, where he was like showing people the moves and all that sort of stuff.
I've not seen a single match where I've thought he's made his moves look clean. He looks clumsy. He looks dozy. Like, I don't know. He looks awkward. But again, maybe that's just that's just me. I don't think he's shit. I don't think he's a shit wrestler. I just don't think he's good enough. I don't think he makes his moves look
clean.
Yeah, watch that match back, and every time Thatcher's involved, you can see that the match doesn't look as good as it did when it was MSK and Ciampa.
Yeah.
Ciampa's world class. He's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. MSK are just what a special talent those two boys are. Very, very special talent. The things they do in the ring. Oh my god. Nuts.
Yeah. I was surprised with the win, but ultimately I weren't, because I don't think Ciampa and Thatcher are a team, if you know what I mean. Not like MSK.
I want Ciampa to turn on him and beat fuck out of him, to be honest. One thing that I've got to say is, and if you don't remember it or not seen it, please go back and watch it, because I want you to know what I mean. Thatcher. Do you know where MSK were hit one of the finishes on Ciampa?
Yeah.
And Thatcher just had to pull the ref out of the ring. When you look, he's there. He's actually leaning on the apron, looking up exactly where the ref is going to be. And for some fucking stupid reason, he walks round the steps to the other side of the ring.
He nearly misses the 2 counts.
The ref had to hold his hand, like, come on, Thatcher. Yeah. But he had his positioning right, because the ref had seen where he was, had slid onto the mat to go down for 1, 2, 3 with his leg in position. And as the ref lands in position, Thatcher walks around and then goes, oh shit. Then he's got to jump in the ring, jump back out of the ring to where he was just fucking stood. And I
think that's where he gets caught up, doesn't he? As he jumps in the ring, he gets sort of caught up and then slams him, just touches him slightly.
Yeah, but again, it's something that is so basic that Ciampa doesn't make that mistake. But This is what I mean about Thatcher. What are you doing? You've already got your positioning right. and then you've walked round the steps. Now the referee's had to dive.
Maybe he was trying to get sort of TV wise, because where he was before, he wasn't camera ready, if you know what I mean. So maybe he's gone round so the camera can see him come in. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But what's the next one?
Why pull Gargano and Cross?
What's that?
Why did they pull Gargano and Cross?
I don't know. I've been talking to people online about this. They said it maybe because of time. Maybe they thought that it was already packed already, and maybe they just didn't have the time to have that match.
I think they were all with that match, didn't they?
Yeah, I was surprised as well, considering they advertised it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised they pulled that. But I'm happy that Samoa Joe's going to be the special guest referee. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Cross came out without Scarlett.
Yeah. It looks like they're pushing for this. Like I said, I think they're saying, right, let's see what he's like without her.
Maybe Joe costs Cross and Cross goes up. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Too many matches. LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes.
Excellent match. Like I said, we all like Cameron Grimes. But like I said last week, why put that stipulation there for Cameron Grimes if he wasn't going to lose? Like I said, we love Cameron Grimes, but I just think this is now going to be comedy gold.
Oh yeah.
Imagine him as LA Knight's butler, right? He could spike his drinks, he can do stuff, and you can just see it's obviously gonna end up in another title match. I can see this, and obviously Cameron Grimes will eventually win the $1 million belt. But I think in the next 4 weeks we're gonna get some really funny segments with this. I think, like I said, I think this is going to be sort of comedy gold, and it's going to be really funny to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. LA Knight. Every time I see him, I fall more and more in love with him. I think he has it all. He has everything. He's got everything that Thatcher doesn't have. And what I mean by that is, again, they're a similar age with a similar amount of experience. Thatcher hasn't got any excuses. Yeah, LA Knight's promo work is a million times better. He's a master with that mic in his hand. Master. He knows what he's doing. And in the ring, look at the end of that match. Again, finding your spot, knowing your spot, execute that spot.
Yeah.
That DDT onto that belt. Now you've got to think he brings the belt in. The ref sees it. The ref throws it out the ring, and LA Knight doesn't know exactly where it is. Yet when 5 minutes later, when he's out of the ring, that DDT of Grimes onto the belt, perfect. And then I love how he just sneakily pushes it under the ring just to go, don't want fucking ref to see that. I'm just gonna slide that. But again, that was probably improvised. That's probably improvised and he's just got up. But the way he did it was like a little bit of a, don't want the ref to see that. I've not done anything wrong.
Yeah,
love it. He is amazing. And Grimes, I want to mention his athleticism frightens me. He's so athletic, but he is deceptively strong. LA Knight is not a light man, and he lifts him with ease. Grimes has that strength that you don't realise that he has when you look at him, and then he's got the incredible athleticism to go with it. And what I love most about Grimes is his selling ability. I worry a little bit with Grimes moving forward for his career. Maybe he's a little bit too good at selling, and maybe they're going to use him as a bit of a let's use you to get someone else over.
Yeah. I thought that originally when they first brought him in, because that's what they looked like they were doing. Yeah. But they're sort of giving him a little bit of a chance now, I think, and he's really good. So
I love him. Great match. The Way versus Io Shirai and Zoe Stark.
Now there's a few things I want to say here.
Go on.
Firstly, that was a good match, right? I don't understand why they lost the titles. I think it would have been better if they kept them, but then that's me.
I agree.
Obviously, the battery fully charged, lights went out. Tegan Knox is there, and we causes the distraction for obviously Stark and that to win. But then, I'm just going to go off a little bit here because then she turns up on SmackDown. So they've done all this build up on NXT for her, all this build up with the Charger, her interfering in the match that costs Candice.
Yeah.
And then she's been called up.
They mustn't have known. Triple H not have known that they wanted to bring Knox.
The only thing I can think of is that he didn't know. And then, because that tag team match, obviously on SmackDown with Knox and Shotzi and that, wasn't announced until I think it was about an hour before the show was on. So I'm wondering whether they didn't know and they just rung them up and gone, "Can you get here for Friday night?" And they've gone, "Okay," and they've gone up.
I think it's time for Shotzi to go up. I love Tegan Knox. Look, I don't know, how many people know her history. She's had 2 horrendous knee injuries. Please, for the grace of God, let that girl stay fit now. Because when you have Triple H in tears backstage after Dakota Kai turned on her at War Games, and she'd already injured her knee, which is why Dakota turned on her, was because they wanted to explain why she was missing off TV. She'd already injured her knee. And the camera backstage is her dad trying to console her because she's sat on a chair with her ice on her knee, crying her eyes out. And Triple H just comes over, bawling his eyes out, gets down on his knees and hugs her like she's his daughter. And a few weeks later, it was asked why he was so upset by it, and he said because it feels like it's a crime to wrestling that a girl with so much talent can have such a cruel injury, because she'd already had an injury before she'd even had any TV time.
That's
and
right,
he said if Tegan Knox can stay fit, she's the future of women's wrestling. She's that good. And she blew out a knee again. Please let her stay fit. What a talented girl. I'm so happy for her, but I feel a bit shit for Ember Moon. It's like, you're in a tag team with Shotzi, but we're going to bring the new girl that's back, this new young up-and-coming star who's had bad luck with injuries. We're going to take you off out of the tag team with Shotzi, and we're going to put Tegan in there and send him up to SmackDown. That's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Tegan Knox. I love her, and I want her to stay fit. And she is a phenomenally talented girl. But yeah, I feel a bit tight for Ember Moon, to be honest.
Yeah. It's just like I said, it was a bit weird considering we had 3 weeks or 4 weeks of this battery charging.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a build up. She appears and then starts attacking, obviously, Candice LeRae. Yeah. And then she appears on Friday night. It's a bit like, whoa, hang on, you were setting up something there.
Yeah. You was having Knox get revenge on Candice because it was the match with Candice that obviously put her out. But there was no way that NXT would have done that whole battery. But do you know what? I bet Triple H is fucking fuming. I bet he's saying I could have used that battery for someone else.
Yeah, I bet they said, "Oh, we're going to call him up," and he's probably gone. He's probably a little bit pissed, but he's probably gone. Okay, fair enough. Brought up, but we've done all this.
Yeah,
and that's what's happening. But yeah, I think now we're going to probably get a few call ups now. We'll come on to SmackDown in a minute, but I think we're going to get a few call ups in the next couple of weeks.
I agree, and I can't wait. Let's just quickly finish NXT, then we can jump into SmackDown. NXT, Toni Storm, again, going off topic again, we'll talk about it in more detail in a minute. She's obviously telling us about that. Why fucking announcer? Why announcer? Why? It pisses me off. Kev, it makes my blood boil. Why? Tony Storm coming to SmackDown soon. Just fucking have a turn up, so we
Did
don't
you
know.
Did you see the post I put on the group
Yeah.
that said that they missed an opportunity to do surprises with things like Goldberg, John Morrison, and the return of other stars and that, where they've announced it like a week before, and then
Why? What? Mate, I get it when it's Cena. I get it when like we were all pissed off. Everyone were going nuts on Friday night when SmackDown went to Friday night and it changed to Fox.
Yeah.
And because it was the first show on Fox, The Rock turned up and they announced it. Why are you announcing The Rock? Well, I get that. It's the fucking Rock. How many people are going to go, oh, well, I'm tuning in for SmackDown now. Rock's there. This is Toni Storm. Like, no disrespect, she's a very, very talented young girl. Very, very talented young girl. But she doesn't have that pull power.
No.
She doesn't have that pull power.
The only thing I can suggest is that it leads to a storyline because they can say, like, other people have seen it and said, oh, you've come here, this is my first thing, and then someone will come out and start talking trash and that.
They've pulled Carmella out of the Money in the Bank ladder match, right? Now they've put Liv Morgan in. Now, what I don't really get about that is they've done that because Bayley's got injured, right?
Yeah.
So that means that the plan wasn't to pull Carmella.
No, because there's still a space in the Money in the Bank match now because they've pulled Carmella.
Right, okay, that's fine.
There's still one place left in the Money in the Bank match for the women.
Well, right, that's fair enough then. But what I say about Toni Storm, why not have her face Bianca Belair? Why not have Sonya Deville say next week, the first SmackDown back in front of the crowd, Bianca, you're going to face her, and have Toni Storm's music hit? Why?
I think it's because they want to build her. You got to think a lot of people just watch Raw and SmackDown. Not a lot of people watch. When you look at the viewerships of the shows, there's, SmackDown and Raw, they're getting over 1 million views. Though they're down, they're still getting over 1 million views. When you look at SmackDown, they're getting like 500,000 or 600,000. So there's 500,000 or 600,000 more people watching just Raw and SmackDown. So when you bring up someone from NXT, half of the crowd are going to be like, "Who's that?" So they need to build them. You can't just put them straight in at the deep end. I know they did that with Rhea Ripley. But yeah, I just don't think there's not like even people now. I mean, we watch it all, but there's a lot of people that don't watch sort of Main Event or even NXT UK. So when these people turn up and they're like, "Who are they?" "Oh, they're from NXT UK." "Oh, I don't watch that. Who are they? I need to know who these are." And it's the same with NXT. There's a lot of people that don't watch NXT. So I think they need to build them back up, if you know what I mean.
Maybe, mate. Maybe. One really quick point, and then we'll match on NXT. We can get on to SmackDown.
Yeah.
I want your honest opinion. What did you think of Hit Row's rapping?
Okay.
I hated it.
The thing is that it's, if you're into that sort of music, you have to be into that sort of music.
Yeah.
My daughter liked it, but then she's into things like that as well, sort of the rapping side of stuff. I don't know. I don't know why we had this concert halfway through. That took up time for where they could have had the Gargano and Cross match.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
But I think that was quite good. But they're wrestlers.
Yeah.
They're not. You know what I mean? Come on. This ain't halftime Super Bowl. This is NXT. This is wrestling. I've tuned in to watch wrestling, not for a 20-minute R&B set. You know what I mean?
But with the greatest of respect, they can't rap. They were crap.
Do you know what? Have you heard any of the latest rap stuff, man? It's crap.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm not a massive rap fan. I absolutely love Eminem because I love Eminem in every rap song. You can, when you listen to the lyrics, he's telling a story, and the rhyming everything the way that he does. Eminem's an absolute genius. I really like listening to Eminem. I'm not into any other rappers, so again, personal preference. I'm not a massive rap fan, but that was awful.
I think there's.
Was good.
We think it's awful, right? We look at it and go, that is shite. You know, they should have had wrestling. But there's going to be a lot of people out there that actually love that. But like I said, it's personal preference, isn't it? So we didn't like it, but some other people didn't. I didn't like it because it's a wrestling show. We should be watching wrestling, not, you know, it was the same thing when Bad Bunny did the Booker T thing.
Yeah.
That got absolutely slated. But then a lot of people liked it. And it obviously went on to sort of do fairly well, actually.
Yeah.
By Bad Bunny at WrestleMania. But yeah, that sort of went on. But it was the same sort of thing. But yeah, it's personal preference. I didn't like it because it should have been wrestling. It took something else away. We should have had something, you know.
Yeah, I agree. The last match was Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. Now, I thought it was a great match. I didn't think it was as good as the stand and deliver match. But to be fair, the stand and deliver match was that good. I don't think it's fair to expect it to be that level again because it's so hard to reach that level again.
It's Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole faced each other on the indie scene as well. They've had some really good matchups. The only thing that surprised me was obviously the win. I would have gone for Kyle O'Reilly to win instead of over Adam Cole. I don't think Adam Cole needed that win, if you know what I mean. But I think Kyle did.
I think he's won. I think that could be his last NXT performance.
Maybe.
You know, don't be surprised if you tune in for Money in the Bank and someone in that ladder match is mysteriously injured.
Yeah.
And someone has to take the place, and it's Adam Cole. Don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. I can see something like that going down. To be honest, I thought it was a great match. I liked the false finish because NXT don't overkill false finishes the way that Raw and SmackDown can. So it was genuinely a shock when Kyle O'Reilly kicked out of the last shot. It was genuinely a shock. Like, oh shit, he's kicked out of the last shot, and then of course Cole just hit. I love the Panama Sunrise. What an incredible move. And then obviously straight into the last shot. 1, 2, 3, Cole wins. Great match. Fantastic match. Do you think Cole goes up now?
He should. I don't know if he will though. But I think it's his time now. I think it's probably, you know, you've got to think to yourself, okay, so he's done this. Where does he go now?
Yeah. Well, that's NXT done, mate. Should we move on to SmackDown?
Yeah, let's move on to SmackDown, yeah.
So, Mr. Drink Driver was not allowed to see Roman. If you don't know, that's, you know, Jimmy.
Very surprised that he was on the show, to be fair. Very surprised.
I'm really annoyed at him. Like, I'm really annoyed at him. What a talent. But, what are you doing? What, like, you can argue, you know, you can make a mistake. You know, this is the third time he's done that. Like, you're taking the piss now. And
lots of reports were coming out that higher ups were not only disappointed, but furiously pissed off. This is why I thought he's going to get suspended or we're not going to see him again. So I was really surprised that he was on SmackDown. And I was more surprised on the angle that they did at the end, but we'll come to that as well, involving him. But yeah, you know, he needs help, but it's whether or not they offer him that.
But I don't think he does need help. I think, do you know what I think it is, Kev? I think he's an arrogant shite. That's what I think of him. I think he's a phenomenal wrestler. I think he's an arrogant swathead who thinks I can do whatever I want because I'm Jimmy Uso. That's what. How can you be caught with three? Like, I'm sorry, and it's closer to home for me because I know someone who was killed by a drink driver. What the fuck are you doing? Get an Uber home. Get
Yeah.
get your wife to pick you up. There's other options than going getting pissed and driving home. Like, I'm not being like, he's got kids. How would he feel if he kills a kid because he's pissed? What are you doing? Maybe if you do it once, you can just go, look, he's made a mistake. 3 times? No, you're taking the piss. Get an Uber home. Get a friend to drive you home. Ring Trinity and say, Trin, I'm pissed. Can you come and pick me up? Do something other than just get in a car, pissed, and drive home. What an absolute knob.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Anyway.
But like I said, I was surprised that he was on the show after, everything.
Yeah. I liked that Jimmy weren't allowed to see Brock. It's again, it is the I like that this is his cousin. Like, we all know the history. When 3 of them were hugging in the ring, Roman spent virtually every day with Jay and Jimmy when they were kids. They grew up as triplets.
Yeah.
You know, like they literally grew up as triplets. They did everything together their entire childhood and throughout the teenage years. They did everything together. Yeah. I like that Jimmy and Jay, you're not allowed in there at the minute. It's like, fuck it, come on, Roman. Like, sort your head out. But I've got to say, that's probably the best promo Roman's done.
Yeah.
That for me is the best promo he's done. I like that he name dropped Brock. I like that he said, you ask any fighter, you go and ask Brock. I like that. I thought it was good. Obviously, I'm happy that Jay's back. And I'd like all 3 of them. Go and dominate now. I'm not being funny. You look at them 3. You've got him. In my opinion, you've got the best tag team in the world. As good as the Young Bucks are, I've just seen a lot more of the Usos, and I think when they're on form and they're really, really on it, I think it's difficult to overlook Usos as one of the best tag teams in the world. Them 2, Roman. Who's beating them 3?
No one.
So.
Right, come on. What's next?
Right. I feel so sorry for Baron Corbin. Oh, I feel so sorry for him.
It's Happy Corbin.
They've took his entrance off him. It's not even got music.
He's coming out with no music. Have you seen as well? He started to grow his hair and his beard.
Yeah.
He started to grow it all again. But yeah, they've sort of doing him down in his luck, ain't they? They're sort of doing this down in his luck character.
They're going for it.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where they take this. And especially as we all know that they've trademarked Happy Corbin.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting how that transitions, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I loved. Don't know if you noticed it. Big E came out wearing a Ding Dong Hello t-shirt in support of Bayley. Yeah. Well done, E.
Well, see them having a foot spar. Him and Pat
McAfee. Honestly, I'm going to say it now. Do not, whatever you do, never ever take that man off commentary. Never.
Brilliant.
Have him there forever, for eternity.
This is not only that. Keep him on SmackDown as well. Do not move him to Raw.
No.
Keep him on SmackDown because him and Cole work brilliantly together, and he's so good.
He's amazing. Like, but he's so up for anything. When you look, Pat McAfee is an NFL kicker who's had 1 wrestling match. This guy is not an actor, right? He was genuinely surprised when he is like, come and join me on the sofa. He was like, right. He almost looks at Cole as if to say, can I take my headset off? Can I? Like, that was genuinely improv. And he's like, yeah, take my shoes off. I'm going to stick my feet in this foot spa. Call it amazing. Pat McAfee, I love him. I think he's great. Shinsuke obviously picked up the win. I'm gutted for Baron. The only thing that I would say is, this is probably Shinsuke's time to have a Money in the Bank match. Baron's been in a couple now. Baron's been in 2, I think. So,
won it as well at one point.
Yeah, he's won it once as well. So I think, Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Absolutely buzzing for Shotzi and Knox, as we've obviously already talked about. Really happy. As soon as they said it's a non-title match, it's like, well, you're basically telling us that they're winning now. That
Yeah, exactly. Why would you have a non-title match unless the other person was going to win?
They obviously didn't want to give him the belts, but they wanted Shotzi and Knox to win the first match on SmackDown. So whatever. And I'm gutted for Ember, right? I feel like she's been shit on with this, but at the end of the day, who's better, Tegan Knox or Ember Moon? Ember Moon from 3 years ago, there's a really good argument there. There's a really good debate to have. This current model of Ember Moon, but I never thought Shotzi and Ember looked like it worked as a tag team. I think Knox and Shotzi work really well. I think it looks like could be a good tag.
I'm really glad as well that they brought her tank as well. I was a little bit curious as to if they would actually introduce the tank or not, or eventually phase it out. I hope they keep the tank, because I think that's part of her character. But yeah, I was quite surprised they brought the tank. But like I said, I was quite surprised that this match was announced like an hour before. So it's almost like they went, we need more women on SmackDown. Of course they do, because there's no one there.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably going to get an influx now of NXT talent. I think Bronson Reed, he wasn't on Great American Bash, so don't be surprised if he turns up on SmackDown this week. So
the only thing that I'd say about Bronson Reed and Karrion Kross, I think there's people that have been on NXT for longer that have deserved that call up. I think to just go, Reed, Kross, go. It's like, what about Cole? What about Gargano? What about Kyle?
No, there's loads of them. there. Even with the women, there's a few women there that have been there longer than the others. You know, the Rat, people like that.
Yeah, and I think it's tight that they've called up Shotzi over someone like a Candice and Io Shirai and whatever. Edge's backstage promo. Edge doing what Edge does, great promo. I loved him ending it. I love him walking off and coming back and going, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. And then fucking hell. Amazing. Fantastic. Sonya Deville, I just want to say this. I really like her. I think she's been through something that no one should go through. You know, she's a wrestler. She's a talent. She's on TV. It's like any actress or that you see in a TV show every week. You shouldn't have some absolute creep.
No.
You know, breaking into her house and stuff. And obviously that's why she went away and she's come back. And I think she's doing a good job. But how many times did she stumble over her words and say the wrong thing? And
I think what they need to do is, which they got rid of a while ago, is they need to bring back the general manager roles again. Now we had she's in a sort of role like that, but I think they need to bring back those authority figures. I don't know why they took them away in the first place, but I think they need. I think Raw and SmackDown need that. Not only that, they can make matches and stuff like that. You know what general managers are like; people can bounce off them. Yeah. I think they need someone in a general manager role on both shows, like they did for years. I still don't know why they got rid of that general manager role, but I think they need to bring it back.
I agree completely, mate. I really like Sonya. I'm not, but she was stumbling on her words, and it was like 3 or 4 times. Like, all right, Sonya, come on, fucking, Bianca versus Carmella next week. I know that they've obviously wanted to do something for the first show back with fans, but why pull Bianca off Money in the Bank?
Yeah, that actually probably leads into the main event. That does, and the reason I say that is because I think we're going to have the Usos versus the Mysterios for the title.
Yeah. And
it's probably the best time for them to all win a title, so all 3 of them have a title. I think that's what's going to replace it at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, maybe, mate. Yeah, that's a good call. We've already said Liv's in the Money in the Bank. Tony Storm's called up, and like you just said, the women obviously need. They need more women. You know what I think it is, Kev? honestly, I think Triple H and Vince McMahon, they watch our podcast, mate. That's what it is. They watch our podcast and they've gone, Dan and Kev said that there's not enough women on SmackDown. Right, we'll bring up Knox. We'll bring up Shotzi. We'll bring up Tony Storm. We need more women. No, yeah. I don't like announcing Tony Storm. I think you just have a music hit so we all go, whoa, no way, you know. But that's the problem now. And I think social media is a main problem. But you can't tell me that WWE can't do more to protect secrets, to, you know, have it said, if this gets out and we find out who's leaked it, you're sacked. I don't give a shit who you are. Randy Orton, Roman, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you leak this, you're gone. You're sacked.
Yeah.
Make more of an effort to give us, the fans, a surprise so we don't know when someone's being called up. We don't know when someone's returning. That, when you think back to when you was a kid, that's what was special. When Stone Cold had been out injured for a year and you hear that glass break, you lose your mind. You go ape shit.
Or when Chris Jericho first debuted, and the timer was counting down and he was at the end.
Amazing. Like when you don't know, that's when it's special. Edge. Imagine Edge's return at Rumble, but they'd announced it the week before. Like, it's not special when stop announcing shit. Anyway, Seth and Cesaro, really good match. Big win for Seth. Either way, I think it'd have been good for either of them. I've got a theory. Okay, I think that they bring in Becky back soon. Because they've just kind of, without doing anything, have you noticed, Kev, without like saying anything, they've just kind of brought Burn It Down, Monday Night Rollins back. They've just forgot about this Messiah. The last 3 or 4 weeks, he's just become Monday Night Rollins again, and they definitely want to make him a babyface for when Becky returns. Sorry, I wanted to say, did you notice? On NXT, they did a backstage promo with Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Why was she doing an English accent? Now, it was a good English accent. If you didn't know, if that was the first time you'd seen her, you'd think she was English.
Yeah.
It was a bloody good English accent. But again, why did they have her do an English accent?
I don't know. Why do they have her have a promo?
Yeah, exactly. Mate, I said,
all these call-ups on SmackDown were sort of a 5-minute job. We're sort of like, get them here now.
Yeah, I get that, you know, Kevin Owens said on commentary that, you know, Seth had a lot of opportunities, Cesaro. I get all that, of course, but Cesaro obviously hasn't won one, but he has been in a lot of Money in the Bank ladder matches. He's always in them. So, you know, I think this is massive for Seth. And for me, I think it's the right winner. And I'm going to stand by what I said last week. Seth wins Money in the Bank, maybe cashes in that very same night and costs Roman.
Yeah, there's two possibilities now in that match. There's obviously Drew McIntyre wins it. Please. Or Seth Rollins wins it. Edge wins. And then Seth comes out, stomps Edge on the briefcase, so that goes right back to 2016 or somewhere like that when Seth done it to Edge before, when he was Money in the Bank. So he comes out, puts the briefcase under Edge, stomps on it, wins the title. So we have 3 title changes for the Universal in one night. And that would be amazing.
That would be incredible, but the rumours are that it's Roman versus Cena at SummerSlam for the title.
That was the rumour, but apparently John Cena is now going to be here in the UK when SummerSlam's on, doing a film.
But Dave Meltzer said that the actual filming schedule is the week after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we get a build-up after Money in the Bank.
Maybe it's not for the title.
No.
Maybe Roman versus Cena, but it's not for the title.
Maybe.
You know?
I know they're having problems with Brock Lesnar at the moment, and they're looking for a replacement. I don't know. They said there was a a discussion going on online saying that they're trying to get Brock Lesnar, but there's a few problems ironing stuff out. And if they can't get Brock Lesnar, it's going to be Goldberg versus Lashley.
Money, mate. Probably the money. It is what it is.
Yeah, apparently they're having trouble at the moment getting Brock Lesnar to sign in for SummerSlam, but their alternative is Goldberg, who's ready and willing to do it. So
Goldberg's always ready for a paycheck, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
When the money dries up, mate, they'll take anything.
Mate, honestly, I'm in a difficult one with Goldberg because I do like Goldberg, but he nearly killed The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And he ended Bret Hart's career.
Yeah. He's
dangerous.
He's always been a sort of free move guy. He's one of those guys that does free moves and that's it. I don't think he has any other moves other than a clothesline, a spear, and a jackhammer. That's it. He's a bit like Omar, another guy who's only got like 3 moves.
Yeah, but to be fair, at least Goldberg makes those moves look good. Almost just makes it look shit.
Oh, Omar, don't get us started on Omar. He's
Kev. Let's not go down that dark hole again.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole, Jesus. But yeah. So let's get on to the main event then.
Well, first, Seth and Edge face to face. Come on.
Yeah. Seth. Like I said, there's something there, and like I said, if they do have him win, and he stumps Edge's head on the briefcase like he did before when he was Money in the Bank champion, that's full circle. That's long storytelling. That's genius. But I don't think they're going to go there.
Kev, Edge. Seth's cutting the promo and Edge stood behind him. Seth turned around and Edge is like, I heard this really nasally, high-pitched, irritating, whinging, bitching noise, and I just wanted to come and see what it was. Fucking hell. Oh, my God. He's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Brilliant. What a face-to-face that was. Not many things on Raw and SmackDown give me goosebumps anymore. That gave me goosebumps. That was really, really like, oh, here we go. Yeah. Loved it. And then, obviously the main event, brilliant end to SmackDown. Thought it was a fantastic end to SmackDown. Obviously, Ray and Dom come back and attack the Usos. And what I loved after that was they genuinely was just like, fuck you, Roman, fuck you, Usos. They was just helping Edge do whatever he wanted. Ray was just like, are you wanting to stick the chair leg in his... Yeah, I'll hold him here, don't worry, mate. Like, they didn't say anything to him. There was just... Him and Dom was just holding him down. As soon as Edge came in, they was like, yeah, you crack on.
You do what you want, yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Good. Roman stood at the entrance while they were beating him up. And like next week, we've got... we've got the 6-on-6 tag match, the 3 of them, the other 3. But like I said, I think that it's going to be the Usos versus the Mysterios for the belts.
Yeah. And if Roman's retaining, give Usos.
That's why I think Roman's going to retain, because then it will have the 3 of them, which I think they're going to be a faction now. I think there's going to be something called Triple Threat or Bloodline. I've seen both of those circle round. That they're going to call themselves, but I think this is probably the perfect time to do that.
I absolutely agree, mate. I think Ray and Dom haven't really done anything since they've been given.
Yeah, they haven't done it since they've won the belts. But then neither really did Ziggler or Rude. They sort of they give these titles to them, and then they sort of forget.
Yeah.
And then they have them in single matches, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll have to have some sort of match with them." But it was like I said, like we said before, when the Mysterios actually won it, I already knew they were going to win it. The first son and father team.
Yeah.
It was obvious, but they've won it. They haven't done anything.
Well.
So.
The fact that it's going to be, obviously, the Usos and Roman versus Edge and the Mysterios, right? Next week. Like, the significance of that. Of course, Royal Rumble, but Royal Rumble's not a match. It's a Royal Rumble match. It's not a wrestling match, if you know what I mean. This is Edge's first match in front of live fans since his return, but it's also his first match on just a normal show that's not a pay-per-view since he's come back. But also, I would love to know how many years it's been since he's had a match on SmackDown.
Well, yeah, because
it was on Raw before he retired.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he was on SmackDown originally, and then I think it was in 2004 when they done the draft. He was drafted to Raw, and he never went back to SmackDown.
No.
But there was that time where they merged both shows for a long time, didn't they? They had Super Raw, didn't they? Super Show Raw or something it was called.
I'd do that again. What I'd love at the draft, and people will agree with me, and people will disagree with me. What I'd do at the draft is I'd have Vince come out and go, "This isn't a draft. Like it's Raw and SmackDown. Whoever wants to turn up on the night, turn up on the night.
Yeah,
the entire roster is on both shows. Crack on.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to have no idea who's turning up on each roster.
Yeah, I think they tried that, and then I don't know what happened. It didn't work out for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, it's going to, like I say, it's going to be interesting. I think going forward, I'm looking forward to obviously Friday. It's the first time the crowds are back since everything. Raw obviously is in the Thunderdome, but that was pre-recorded on Thursday, which I found out. Yeah, because they started tearing down the set for SmackDown, and everyone's like, "Well, hang on, you got Raw first," and they said, "Oh no, Raw was pre-recorded on Thursday," because obviously when they do the Thunderdome, they can use stock footage.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So that's obviously what they're going to be doing on Monday. But yeah, Monday Night Raw's already been filmed and done.
I think they've been using stock footage for a long time, anyway, mate. To be honest.
They did. I know they did on NXT. You know, when they have the boards up in NXT, they did then because I remember I was on SmackDown on the Thunderdome, and then the following week I was on Raw. I was on NXT, and I was like, "What? I don't remember being on NXT." They were using stock footage from obviously Raw and SmackDown for the digital crowd at NXT. So yeah, not only have I been on SmackDown, I've also been on NXT as well. But I was on NXT while I was watching it, and I was like, "Why am I on now? I'm not even there. What happened there? I don't even know about that."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting, I think, going forward.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely.
Yeah, Raw. We've got the only match I think that's been announced for Raw is Eric versus AJ Styles, and Ibar versus AJ Styles, and Eric versus Omos. We'll see what Omar's like, because this is going to be I think it's going to be his first single match.
I'm not expecting anything, mate.
I'm not expecting anything, mate. No, AJ Styles, you can guarantee that's going to be a good match.
I'd have give Eric to AJ.
Yeah, but they've gone for Ibar, the biggest one. Yeah. I think he's a little bit more athletic though. If you watch him, he's doing the cartwheels in the ring.
Yeah, pretty athletic he is.
For a big guy, for a really big guy, that is really good. But we'll see how those matches pan out. I've got a funny feeling we might have like an interference or something like that.
Yeah.
And then in 2 weeks' time, they've got a title match, haven't they? I do believe.
Yeah.
The Raw tag titles.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the Viking Raiders will win, because I don't get AJ and Omar's. I don't get it. He's better in that. He's better in that bodyguard role.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but yeah, apart from that, we've got a match shout for Thingy. I think we're going to get some more call-ups.
Definitely.
Bronson Reed is probably a cert. He's definitely going to probably turn up on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see who else. But we know Bronson Reed has lost a title. He wasn't at American Bash. And we know that he's been on the main event a few times. So I want to see I would expect him to have an appearance at some point. They need more people on SmackDown, so I would imagine he'll appear on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Over Raw.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see how all that pans out, I suppose.
Yeah. Interesting time now with fans back.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. All right, shall we leave it there?
Yeah. I think it's a good place to end.
Cool. I've been Kev.
I've been Dan. See you in the next one, guys.